Good morning, Flosstube. I am Tamara. I am PD Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram, where I don't post as often as I probably should, but I do post occasionally. This is a channel about cross stitch. I will try not to say too many more times. If you are new here and you are interested in cross stitch, settle in. See if there's anything you see that you like, that you're interested in. And if you are returning, thank you. Thank you for your friendships, for your comments, for your likes, for your returning each time I share a video. It's been 2 weeks since I filmed. The last time I spoke with all of y'all, it was the 31st of January, and today is the 13th of February. It's a Sunday, about 7 a.m. here. So the sun's starting to come up, but it's still pretty dark outside. For those of you who are new, I live in South Carolina near the PD River. The area of South Carolina that I live in is called the PD region, hence my name, PD Stitcher. We live about an hour and a half inland from Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach seems to be the one place in South Carolina that everybody knows. So we live about an hour and a half inland from there. We've got some whips to share today. I have no haul. I don't know how that happened because I'm pretty sure I should have gotten something in the mail in the last 2 weeks, but apparently I have not, because I shared my January fabric from Grace Notes Fabrics on the 31st, and I just got notification that my Color and Cotton fabric is on its way, so it's not here yet. And so I have no haul at all. I do have a finish, which is rare for me, but I have one. So let's jump in. So we'll start with my finish. This is Clemson University Tigers. I got this pattern off of easypatterns.blogspot.com, and it came as a full coverage. I chose to do this 1/1 on antique white, 28 count. So if you can see, these are little tiny little stitches. And it was supposed to be full coverage, and it was a rectangle, and all of this was white. And I was like, why am I going to stitch white on white? So the only white I did was inside the helmet, inside the face mask, inside this little part, the padding inside the helmet. All of the white inside the face mask is stitched. You can't really tell on camera. You can tell a difference in person. Not a lot, but enough. But it doesn't really matter. It's white. And so I'm really excited for this one. I finished it yesterday. Its birthday was Friday, the 11th. Yes, Friday was the 11th. So I started it on February 11th, 2019, and finished it February 12th, 2022. This is 2022. Wow. So this has been a long time coming. I got a little frustrated with just all of the little tiny stitches. I did that to myself, so I don't know why I got frustrated with it, but I did. So, and I used to like big blocks of color because I felt like it went fast and I could do it easily. I got bored. I got bored with all of the orange, and I would put it aside and not work on it for months. But I'm done now, and I'm going to probably finish this into a flat fold and give this to my son. And then probably have to do something else for my other Clemson fans who live in my house. So, but this is a finish, and I'm very excited about that because I haven't had a finish. This is my first finish of 2022. Yay! So that's my only finish. Probably won't see another finish again till March, April, maybe even May, but that's fine. Let's see what, actually that's not true, because this one, if I actually did what my plan for this was, this would be almost done. This should be done soon. This is November from the Cricket collection, or the Cross-Eyed Cricket, And I have been doing these months since 2020. And I have November and December left to do. And as soon as I finish November, I will start December. This is my 100 stitches a day project. However, I haven't been doing 100 stitches a day on this recently because, like yesterday, I just wanted to finish the Clemson piece, and I had worked on it on its birthday on Friday, and I saw how close I was to a finish. So yesterday I just sat down and worked on that during my time that I would normally do my 100 stitches a day. So I didn't do this yesterday. I haven't done 100 stitches a day a couple of days this week for a variety of reasons, and we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about life. But the last time you saw it, I believe I had almost all of the B, if not all of the B. And now I've got a good bit of the E. So I've got the bird. I need to do the back stitch to connect all of this. I need to finish the basket and the bottom leg of the E. But, I mean, the E's almost done, so that just leaves the R. So it could be done in the next few weeks if I work on it 100 stitches a day like I plan. I'm really good about planning, not so good about the following through. So this needle minder is my peppermint patty from Peanuts. I got it from Fire Poppies. I also have Lucy, but she's not on a project. She's sitting on my lamp stand. So I would like to collect all of the Peanuts characters because I just love them. So, but as you heard, I don't have any haul this week because I'm really trying not to spend. So I'm not sure when or if I will get more needle minders. I really need some. I need some for every project because I've just found it so much easier to keep a needle binder with a needle with each project, so that when I feel like pulling out a project, I don't have to go hunt for a needle or a needle minder. So that's why the Lucy one stays on my lamp stand with a needle for those projects that don't have a needle minder and a needle in them. That becomes the needle for each and every project that doesn't already have one. So that's my 100 stitches a day, and I've not been real good with keeping up with that. The next one I also haven't been real good with keeping up with. This is January Celtic Knot from the 2006 Ink Circles collection, and I'm going to put this behind my board because I folded it so you can't see the pattern that's on the other half of the page. This is what the black and white copy of what it will look like. I'm using this for the DMC challenge on Magical Stitches, where they've randomly pulled, put this back over here, 52 different colors and put them in order, in just a random order. And you're supposed to do 100 stitches in that color. Well, the first color that was called for this year, I didn't have a project that had that color in it, so I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Because I want to do the DMC challenge. So I found that, and I was like, well, that will look really neat with lots of different colors. So that's what I did. I've done 3 weeks worth of colors because I'm a slacker. And I got caught up with other things. So I think we're at 6 weeks into the year now. So I need to do the next 3 colors. And some of the colors won't go into this because there are in colors that they're in projects that I'm currently working on and I can get 100 stitches in. But this is what I've got. So I'm not sure. So this is a dark green, and then a gold, and then a blue. I don't really know the color numbers off the top of my head because it's been a few days since I worked on this, and if it didn't happen this morning, I'm not going to remember it. This is 40 count something. 40 count something from Grace Notes Fabrics. I have it written down. It will be in the description box below. I'm terrible about remembering fabric colors and their names. But this is 40 count from Grace Notes Fabrics, and it's just a really pretty light pink peach. It looks kind of brown in this light. I'm so sorry, but I I have to work with what I have in my house, and this is the lighting in my house. As you can see, the sun's starting to come up behind me there. So, I don't know what that will do to the quality of the colors or anything, but everything, all the descriptions, the color of the fabric, anything that I've changed that I didn't talk about, or even if I did talk about, it will all be in the description box below. So the next thing I worked on is one of my Whip Go calls for February, which is to do 10 days on Christmas Village stocking from Kooler Design Studio. I don't know why I always want to say company, it's studio. So I've made stockings for each and every one of my people. I have 5 children. If you're new here, I have 5 children. I have a husband. They all have stockings. My husband's has not been fully finished yet, so he didn't get to use his stitch stocking. He got to use one of the ones we've purchased over the many years. My children's stockings are all fully finished. They use them each year. I didn't have a stocking. I was the only one that didn't have a stitch stocking, and my children were like, "Mom, when are you going to do yours?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't have a pattern for one." And I had several patterns on 1, 2, 3 Stitch in my wish list. I have a lot of things on 1, 2, 3 Stitch in my wish list, but this I had a couple of stocking patterns, and one of my daughters purchased this one for me for my birthday, Mother's Day, something in 2021. It wasn't Christmas, I do know that. And said, "Mom, now you need to make your stocking." So I'm making my stocking. I don't know when it'll be finished. Hopefully before I need to start making for grandchildren, which are not in the plans anytime soon. So yeah. I'm doing this on, I don't know. So it will be in the description box below, because this is not I got this off of Amazon because I just did a cheap whitish off-white fabric with the right color count, and I haven't serged. Okay, here's my question for y'all. I don't own a serger. I don't own a sewing machine. What do you do with your edges of fabric that are not serged? How do you contain the fray? Or do you not worry about it? I've done many things over the years. I'm so old and have been stitching for so long that I've done the tape. I've done whip stitch around the edge. What do you do? Because I need to do something, because it is starting to fray. Not badly, but you know, I don't want, this is not going to be finished in the next week or two, so I'd like to keep it from fraying over the next year or two as I'm working on this. So what do you do? Comment, let me know. Give me some suggestions. Tell me that it's not that hard to learn how to sew. I don't sew. So I don't finish any of my own projects that need to be sewn, which is why my husband's stocking isn't done yet, because I need to get it to somebody who can fully finish it. But this is where I am now, and I'm absolutely loving it. It is a full coverage, as you can see. I'm loving all of the colors in these, the blues, and this is the moon, and it's so pretty, so pretty. I love it. I don't like the fabric. The fabric is so stiff. I feel like it could stand on its own if I set it on a table. And I don't like it. It's crunchy. I don't like crunchy fabric. I know there are people who do. Good for you. You can have the crunchy fabric. I like the soft fabric. And there are people that don't like the soft fabric, and that's fine too. I'll use your soft fabric, and you can use my crunchy fabric that I'm not a big fan of. But I know it works good for stockings because it makes them a little bit more sturdy. Like I said, it's not my first stocking, so that's why I use this. But I don't like the material, and especially right now in the winter, because it's so dry here, my fingers, in fact, ignore my nails because I haven't done them, because they're just, around my nails and my fingers are cracking and dry, and so when they rub on this crunchy material, it makes it worse. My fingers just feel bad when I rub on this. So but it got called for February when it's cold and everything's, you know, feeling a little bit crunchy. So 10 days. I've done 3 this month, so I still have 7 more. I'm spreading them out. I've got, like I said, I like to plan. Don't like to follow through with the plans, but I like to plan. I have it planned out. I have a calendar that I have it penciled in for 10 days this month. Spread out so that I don't get bored or lose my mind working on just one piece. I used to be a monogamous stitcher. Way a long time ago. I would do one project, work on it till it was done, move on to the next project. And then I found Flosstube. Actually, a little bit before I found Flosstube, I had 1 or 2 projects going at a time just because, that way if I got bored, I could work on something else. But now that I found Flosstube and now that I'm making Flosstubes, I've got 30-something whips. 22 are active right now because I'm in no new starts and I'm doing the 22 and 22. I did, since I finished the Clemson University piece, I now have an empty space that I can fill in, and that was a medium because of, it doesn't look like a medium, but because this is 1/1 on 28, it actually, the stitch count is pretty big. So, I get to replace it with a medium. I don't know which one. I have several projects that are partially kitted, some that are fully kitted and ready to go. I just need to figure out what I want to do. But I'm trying to wait and start things for specific reasons. Or like my birthday later this year. Because I'm turning 50 this year, so I will definitely be having a birthday start. I'm doing nothing on my birthday except doing me that day because I'm turning 50 and that's a pretty big accomplishment to get to 50 for me, I feel like. So my next whip, this was called for a whip go for January to finish. And I laughed because, it wasn't going to be finished in January, and it wasn't. But I'm so close. So I had done all of the outside squares, and all I had left was the middle square, and I'm working on that now. So it's a huge piece of fabric because I'm doing them all together. Oh, by the way, this is Words to Live By from Tiny Modernist. Again, I don't know it's not like this is the first Flosstube I've ever made. I should know. Tell you what it is, who it's by, what the fabric is. Yeah, don't know why. So, Words to Live By from Tiny Modernist. And I'm using all the called for DMC. And this is on 32 count chalkboard black. And this is, like I said, all of the outside squares are done. I just have to do the inside middle, and it's coming pretty good. I'm going to fold this down so it's a little bit more manageable so I can show y'all. So I've done the 2 top corner curly Q things. I've got the sun. I've started over here with the mountaintops, I believe those are. I still have the hot air balloon to do over here. Oh no, that is part of the hot air balloon. That is actually a light yellow. The mountaintops are down in here. It looks kind of white in this light, but that's yellow. That's part of the balloon. I'm working on the balloon. I'm working on the mountains. I'm just kind of trying to work my way down and color complete. And so this yellow was the same as over here. When I finished this thread, I started over here and did that. So that's why the balloon has some stitches, because I wanted to finish out that thread. So I'm not completely color completing, but if I have another place to put that color where I can count to, then I'll finish off the thread. I did cut it and move it over. I didn't travel with it because I did travel with some. I travel with the white for the birds because I don't know how, like, I can start and stop a one single stitch using pin stitch. So question number 2. How do you start and stop backstitch without carrying? Because I had to carry it to be able to finish off the thread and to start it, because it was just one single thread. So I needed to run it underneath something to start it and run it underneath stitches to finish it. So how do you start and stop your backstitch or your single strands if it's backstitch? Because I can't pin stitch that. I don't know how to hide that like I can with a single X. So, advice, suggestions. So my first two projects are just in these vinyl Amazon bags. Well, my first two, several of them. I've shown you more than two, but those last two were in vinyl bags. The other ones, they're not in bags. I mean, they were, but I don't have the bags over here. I just had the pieces. The 100 Stitches a Day one stays right here so that I will pick it up every day and stitch 100 stitches on it. I don't always do that, like I said. But my next one is in my Mickey Mouse So Much to Love bag. I absolutely love Mickey. With the little felt heart that is the signature of So Much to Love. My cover photo is a little worse for the wear, but this is Ink Circles from Rosetta. This was also called for February Whip Go to finish one medallion. I'm doing each of these a different color, each medallion, and then the border around is in Wheat Style Works Coal. So I will list the colors in the description box below that I put it on. This is 40 count Dusty Road. I want to say Seraphim. That might be right. It might not be. And if it's not, I'll put that in the description box below. But here, this is where we are right now. So this is the medallion that I'm working on and hoping to finish in February. So what I'm doing is, this is Gentle Arts Peacock. It's the only Gentle Arts color that I've used. The rest of them are all Week Style Works. This is Love. I do not remember what this is. I want to say Cactus, but I could be wrong. Don't know which either of these two purples are. And then this is Week Style Works Turquoise. So what I'm going to do, because there's 12 total, 4 across and 3 down. And I need another hand or a board this is clipped on. So I'm doing a teal turquoise, and then this one will be a teal turquoise. And then this is a pink, and then this will be a pink or red. And then green, 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 purple, purple, purple. But all different shades of those colors. So I'm very excited. I love how this looks. I love how it's turning out. I kind of stole the idea from Annie at Joyfield Stitcher because I saw her working on Rosetta, and she is doing this with 12 different colors, but kind of going in a color gradation through the rainbow with hers. So I fell in love with how she was doing it, but I wanted to just limit the main colors to just 4, my 4 favorite-ish colors: green, teal, pink, red, and purple, and do it that way. So I borrowed her idea. We'll say borrowed. Borrowed sounds so much nicer than stole. I borrowed her idea, and anybody that I talk about, if you're not already following Joyfield Stitcher, you should. I love Annie. She's so upbeat. She's Joyfield. She's just always so, she makes me smile when I watch her because she's just happy. And it's refreshing. It's very refreshing. And I'm trying to stack things up neatly on the couch next to me so that when I'm done, I can put it all away. So the next one I worked on is my terrible color printer. This is World of Disney 1 by ZAnna Cross Stitch on Etsy. And this, I've still got, excuse me, I don't know why I'm kind of froggy voiced this morning. I have this in my pillowcase because I've been working on it, so I've kept it on the Q-snap, but I don't have a bag big enough to put it in, so it goes in the pillowcase. So this is where I am. I work this one a little different. I have this one on Pattern Keeper, so I work it a little different. This is page 1. Page 1 is done. I'm working on page 2. And I take a strand and I start at the top. Whatever color is the first thing, I take that strand and I work it. And then I go to the next open space and I work it. So, and then I'm cross-countrying. It wasn't as bad up in the blue, but now that we're in the yellows and reds, there's a lot of like little tiny stitches that cross country. And then this is also, some of the yellows are down here where the little border is between this section and the next section. But I'm loving it. It's looking really good. I think I'm at 1.05%. So yeah, this is a long-term project. And y'all, I'm really getting froggy voiced. I don't know what's going on. It means I need to speed it up and finish talking soon. But this is my last whip to share with you anyway, so that's good. So this is my focus for this year, my full coverage focus, and it's also my oldest project. This is Christmas 2. The artwork is by Ciro Marchetti, and it is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I absolutely love nutcrackers, so this one is just, I love it. It's a paper pattern. It's not on Pattern Keeper. Well, I could have it on Pattern Keeper. I've told the story before. When they changed with the 09, with DMC 09, the color for it, I don't know if it changed or what, but Michelle from Heaven and Earth Designs recharted all of her charts that had color 09. I already had, and I had been gifted the paper pattern. And I'd already started it, and I'd already done like 2.5 pages. So I did buy the new version on PDF to put it on Pattern Keeper. But because of the color changes, I couldn't figure out how to line it up with what I had already done. So I'm going to keep on keeping on with my paper version in my notebook and my highlighter. It's a little slower going because it's a paper version in my notebook and my highlighter. But here's where I am. I'm working now down this page. This looks like a bump. It really isn't. It's the way, is that not the most, I just love how they do the shading. That literally is where the fold is in the drape, the curtain. It's not a fold in my fabric, but it sure does look like one, doesn't it? That's just, when you're working on these and you're just working on a little piece, you don't see, you just see little colors. But then when you pull it back and you look at it, the picture comes out, and it's just, this is why I love working on full coverages, but I'm really slow, so they're going to be my lifelong plan. But I finished this page, and I'm down here on this one, and working on the bookshelf. This one, I'm not doing like I do the Disney one, where I'm color completing, or completing that strand. I am parking, so it does look like, I know this stresses out some people. This actually doesn't stress me out because I know then where I'm going to start. So what I do is, for this one, I work in blocks. So I start at the top of the page. I'll do the first 10 by 10 block, and then I park below. And then when I am ready to do the next 10 by 10s in that diagonal, I start down here with any park threads and work those, and then move up and work across and park down. And then, so I'll do all the park threads in this block below. And then I'll start up here and do it, and then come back down here to the same in the diagonal and finish anything that didn't already have a park thread. And then I'll do the same with this diagonal. I'll work up with the park threads and then do a cross. So now I'm working on this block with the park threads. Then I'll do these parked, these parked, these parked, and they're then parked up here. So I'll start over here, do the next block, which I think actually that might be, that's the edge of the page. That's why there's nothing. So I'll do this and work my way back down. So that's how I attack my paper pattern full coverages, is with the diagonal 10 by 10 blocks. Wow. I didn't think I had worked on that much for the last 2 weeks, but I really guess I had. So there have been a couple days I didn't stitch at all. I didn't stitch at all this past Monday. One of my girls is a junior in high school, so we did a college visit to a college several hours away, and I drove, so I didn't get any stitching done on the drive, and driving up there, then we did the tour, then we drove back, and by that time I was ready for bed, not for stitching. And then Friday I did just a tiny bit of stitching in the morning on the Clemson piece because it was its birthday, and then I didn't do any Friday evening because my son was invited to play in the alumni soccer game for the high school where he played soccer in high school. The varsity team wanted to play the alumni for their first official scrimmage. So he played in that, and we went to watch. I hadn't seen him play in 3.5 years, and that was so much fun. So much fun. For those of you who are returning and have heard about my son, he did pass his nursing board test, his NCLEX, and he begins at the hospital tomorrow morning. He'll be doing orientation stuff this first week, and then he'll be on the floor as a nurse. I'm so proud of him, and I can't express how proud I am of all that he's accomplished. So, and the fact that I get to take a little bit of pride in that, since we did homeschool for his whole schooling. I homeschooled him until college. I did not homeschool college. I let the college do that, but I homeschooled him from 3K until he graduated. So I feel like I get to take a little bit of credit for his success, but not really, because it's mostly him. I just gave him the foundation, and he put in the hard work. So y'all, I hope y'all have a great week. Get some stitching in. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everybody if you celebrate that. I don't know if I'm going to lunch or dinner or what. We tend to go to lunch because dinners get crazy. With my husband is soccer. He works all day at a full-time job, and then he coaches a high school soccer team. So that's in the afternoon, evenings. So sometimes dinner on a special occasion is difficult because restaurants are busy, and then by the time we can get there, there's usually a really long wait, so we tend to do lunch. That's probably the plan for tomorrow. So y'all have a great week. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep stitching. Bye, y'all.